Hi Tokyo Tops.
Hi, Tokyo Holes.
Hi Tokyovers. I fucked that up because it's say Tokyo, right?
So today we have Don and Cody. Thank you for joining us.
You.
So the reason why we are all gathering around together is because Don introduced a very popular trend on TikTok about wrapping up your dating experience in 2022.
As Meng mentioned, it was a huge trend on TikTok. Thank you, Spotify, for inspiring many of people to use their free time to show what they did and what they actually did not do in the PowerPoint presentation.
So I'm actually very excited to hear all the teas from you guys. I'm very curious because I haven't heard anything, especially from Dawn. Like, you never share any of your dating experiences to me.
I'm a private person.
Live.
So I'm gonna do a very quick rundown of what happened last year for me.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
So, to just one simple sentence to describe my dating experience in 2022 was one shot, one kill.
Okay.
Oh.
Excuse me.
She's a sniper.
I have been dating one person, since December of 2021.
Has it been that long?
It's been very long.
Jeez.
December 21.
What?
No, not with the current one, but the one before.
Okay.
The one before, I
Showtime.
brought. Both of my boyfriend and also the last person I was dating, I met them on Grindr. Like, both of them, I had sex right away, and they just really enjoy my energy.
I thought the same thing. They really enjoyed it, and I was like, wow.
And we just kept seeing each other, Then we went on a couple of days, dates. Like, the first guy, we didn't make it official. It was just we kept seeing each other every single weekend. He was very muscular and he was very straight acting.
Is that good?
Toxic.
Toxic.
Yeah,
Toxic.
It might be toxic, but it's hot.
It is hot.
Yeah, talk to your therapist.
Talk to your therapist about that.
But he is a closet gay.
Oh.
And also he was a student when I was dating him, so it was very hard for him to fully commit. After seeing him for 6 months, I'm just if you at this point you don't want to make it official, and I think we just both wasting each other's time. It didn't end up terribly because I already know that it's not gonna work. So I still care about him. No, I shouldn't say that.
Beep.
You can care about people.
You wish
just
him
don't-
well.
You wish him
I
well.
really wish him well.
You
as
care
well.
for his well-being and coming out and being your true authentic self, but you have moved on.
Then I met my current boyfriend.
So wait, did you literally stop dating the other guy and then in a couple of weeks started dating
Yeah,
someone
and he
else?
was the first person I hooked up with after I stopped talking to that guy. So one shot, one kill.
Well, yeah.
First, I had 41 unique encounters. How we met, there were 5 different main methods. The majority, it was message boards.
Oh.
Keijiban.
I
That's
still
retro.
That's
We're-
very retro. Do you walk around with the Walkman and everything too?
For me, because I was just breaking up, I just wanted something that was very non-strings. I think the anonymity was very important to me because I just moved into a new place. I didn't really need to know someone's face so much as I could hear the stats. The next one was in the wild, so I used to meet people randomly in person. The next thing was Nine Monsters, which is the biggest gay SNS app in Asia. The other thing was existing connections. So as I mentioned, I broke up with with someone in 2021, but there were people who I knew already that things just kind of moved into a certain direction, once or twice maybe.
I heard this was a Corona thing.
Yeah.
It happened in
a
other
lot of
people. Yeah,
people-
people
Wait, wait,
started
Yeah.
doing their friends or doing
stick
people
with
they already
you
knew.
know.
Yeah, the least amount was Tinder. But as we recognize, there's no Grindr here. This is another public service announcement. Unshadow ban my motherfucking account
That's why I was
Grindr.
yeah, I was
I
like,
got
what do you mean
shit to
there's
do, people to meet, and things to see. Unban it. I know you see it now. 10 consecutive times I met these people. Majority out of the 41 encounters, 21 of them were just one time. You already know why.
Because we are gay.
Because I'm a human. I have needs. Activities, what do we do? If you will see the graph on the screen, you'll see the majority of the time is represented by fruits and vegetables. That was 60% of the activities that I did with most of the people who were there. But the other 2 activities were coffee and or drinks, and the other 20% or 19% should be meals. And then I also included did 3% seasonal activities that, in Japan, we love to do the hanami, we love a beach night,
good one,
we love a little fireworks, something like that. That was me going the extra mile for the people I was genuinely interested in and planning those kinds of things. New experiences from those meetups, I was able to have my first Tokyo nighttime drive. Someone took me in their BMW across Rainbow Bridge. I was able to see everything lit up at nighttime. I got a chance to go to a motel-style love hotel. Basically, what you do is a very obscure area. It was like underneath the train tracks. You drive into it, you park in the one that's open, you close the shade, which shows that it's occupied. You put the money inside, and you enjoy your evening.
That sounds like a great cheating
I
spot.
was just about to say, this is where all the married men go.
It was very undisclosed and it was very discreet. The other thing I had my first Tokyo Disneyland date. I think how did I feel about these people? I had 5 people that I was genuinely interested in out of 41. 2 of them I knew were not a match, but I still tried at least one time to meet with them. 14 people defaulted because I didn't get a chance to meet them, so I just kind of rated them right in the middle. How'd it turn out? 38% of people either fizzled out, were clear friends, and one of them ghosted me. If you're watching, you know who you are. I just saw you in Eagle Blue 2 weeks ago. I called your name out when you're with whoever that person you were with. All you did was turn back and look around, and why are you so ashamed? Just because I asked you to go on a date, and you said we want to be friends, you ain't want to be friends no more.
Hello, motherfucker.
Next, insight. 11 of these people were bilingual. 6 of them let me top them. This was important to me because I identify as a verse.
First bottom, right?
First lives matter. First lives.
2 of the people on the list are 10 plus years friends. As I mentioned, there were people who I had mutual connections with already. Never thought of them that way, but the opportunity presented itself and I didn't say no.
Oh my God. Okay, I think it's the stupidest thing you can ever do. It's so high school. Why?
That's your opinion? We're gonna do a lightning round real quick. Most of the people that I've had sex with, most of my unique encounters have been in Japan, people who are Japanese nationality. Encounters by followers, because some of the people I do actually follow. More of the people on here that were especially the one encounters I don't have them following, but the one I do know, they're regulars with under 1,000 followers. Next is probably about 5 people with over 1,000 followers, and then 1 person has just under 10,000 followers.
I have a question. Why does that matter?
Yeah.
Why does that matter?
Thank you, man.
Listen,
it doesn't
explain.
When you are talking about profile, how many people in your history have a blue check mark next to their name?
Read her. Read her. Read her.
Yeah, why does it even matter?
Because it doesn't.
It gives me like Black Mirror, that episode. You know,
Yes.
yeah, like
How many
rating
followers you
people.
have.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And I'm a 4.1, so.
Oh my God.
Encounters by body type. So I had a lot of people who were just average. More of the people skew on the bigger body size type. My goals for next year, or this year rather, I should say, more dates, which I want actual dates. I want to see your face in good lighting, and I want to see you between the business hours of 9 and 9. I want to see you in person, and then we can talk about what's happening next. That's my own personal thing. Also, I want to vocalize intention. Where do you want to see this go on? Do you want to date casually? That's fine, no pressure. Do you see yourself wanting to be in a relationship? Do you see yourself actually coming out and like having a partner or something like that? If you don't think about that, especially at 30s, it makes me unclear in my head whether or not I want to continue with you, and it makes me nervous.
In terms of like how to reach your goals, to have like potentially have more dates, right? Like what are you gonna do differently from last year? Like have
I
more
love that this is like a
engagement.
job interview.
What
How
can
are
you
you
do
gonna
for
reach
it?
your KPI? How are you gonna reach your KPI?
For my
you can't just-
KPI. Like I said, I want to vocalize intention. I think vocalizing intention will filter out people really quickly. People who just want to casually date or get a free meal or just put a plan in their calendar are not going to want to hear from someone who says that, hey, I have a direction. Are you also in the same direction? They're gonna drop off like they want to. So if I vocalize intention with the meetings, if I am listening to what they're saying and trying to naturally stir a conversation into something that could help us both be meaningful or realize something, that's how I'm going to get more dates and make those dates more meaningful.
But like, what else? Like, you could also go to goal cones.
No.
before we start, I want to thank everybody who's come to Iro Cafe and said that you've seen me on the channel and said hi. That really makes my day. I'm really awkward, so if I'm just like, oh, thank you, and that's it, it's not that I don't want to talk more. I'm either really busy or I'm just awkward. I ended a relationship in February of 2022, and it was very emotional for me. I had my first panic attack, so yeah, girl.
Clap for that.
I'm not clapping for that. Trauma.
My total number of significant interactions was 30. 30 people, not 30 times. Most of them I met on 9 Monsters, which is surprising to me because I thought I met most of them on Grindr. I met 14 of the 30 people in 9 Monsters, 12 of them on Grindr, and 4 of them initially in the wild, in person. Of those 30 people, what we did, 25 of them the first time was a dietary supplement.
Getting your vitamins.
Getting my vitamins. 4 of them we met in person, and then only 1 of them was an actual date. After the breakup, I did not want to go on dates for a really long time. When I finally felt like I was ready, I did go on 1 date, and it was actually nice. We ended up being friends. 70% of the people I met were in their 30s, same age as me.
Okay.
I thought this would be lower, but the next percentage is in their 20s. There are 5 people I met in their 20s, and just slightly under that, 13% of them were in their 40s, which I thought it was the opposite. I thought there were more people in their 40s. I guess I like them young.
Charity.
Body type, I'm going to say this is 50-50 of gachiri and gachimuchi. I've actually seen myself leaning more towards like more heavily bodied people lately. And then position, I am cursed, y'all, because I am verse. Hashtag verse lives matter. 50% of them were bottom, and then 47% of them were sides, which is why I say I'm cursed, because during 2023, I was very lazy. I was also very busy at work. So it was a lot of, hey, I just got home. Are you free? Do you want to come over? Nationality, so it was mostly Japan. There is a small percentage of Korean. There was 1 South African, and then 1 Panamanian. You know?
Panamanian, yeah.
Panama.
Not the dog.
Not the dog. That's a
Pomeranian.
Number of times met, over half of these were just one-time things. 14% of them we met 2 times. 3 times, 4 times were 7%. And then actually a nice 10% of them we have met more than 10 times.
Wow.
It's like friendship.
Regulars.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then how it ended, one of them no longer exists to me.
It's like Guy Eagle Blue when you see him.
Being a ghost and no longer existing are 2 different things. One still haunts you, one you just forget about.
Just under 50% kind of fizzled out. A lot of one-time things.
Okay.
3 of them were touch and go. 2 of them turned into clear friends. And then 10 or so are continuing. Yeah,
That's a lot, 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and by continuing, I don't mean like I see them often. It's just like the
You
line.
didn't burn the bridge. That's
The bridge is not burned. The lines of communication are open. Oh, hotness. As I was creating this, I actually was like, oh my god, this is really low for a lot of them. But the average is 6. The average is 6 out of 10, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
Give me an example
It's
of
fuckable.
6.
Like a celebrity.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
A celebrity for me, that would be a 6. A 6?
I guess it's
That's a
below.
celebrity?
That can be possible. Personality matters as well.
Yeah.
Skinny Jonah Hill is a 6 for me.
Yeah, I would put Jonah Hill as a 6.
As a
I like
6.
bigger Jonah Hill as a 6.
That's what I say, guys.
Got your hair.
Jonah Hill, skinny is a 6, and bigger Jonah Hill is a 7.5 for me.
Okay, skinny Jonah Hill for me is like a 4. And then bigger Jonah Hill is a 6. So my goals for 2023, I want to date more nerds. Because the people I dated in 2022 and 2021, my deepest and like my favorite relationships out of those are all people that we had shared common interests in, like either anime, games, or like manga, something. That was my 2023 wrap.
Yeah.
Basically, I was
2022 rap.
2022
Yeah,
wrap. I was in my whole era.
Yeah.
This was not written for me because I'm just fucking people. My numbers are lower than yours.
Oh, okay, because
Fucking.
you're not counting the people you fuck.
I think that's triple digit. So I met 9 guys that was more than just sex, I guess, in 2022.
Meaningful.
I was very shocked that none of these people were on 9-1. Most of them were on Grindr.
Okay, so you're the opposite of me then.
So 7 out of 9 people were on Grindr.
Okay.
And then 2 of the people were in the wild. I met, so one time, there were 4 guys.
Okay.
And then 2 guys was 1. 3 guys was 3.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then 4 guys was 0. 5 of the guys, so 56% were verse.
Okay.
Moving on up, moving on up.
I'm not saying I was verse with them. I'm saying they were verse.
You topped that, right? Probably.
So no, but there were 2 bottoms, which is interesting because I would say normally if you are a bottom, I enjoy sex, but I probably wouldn't think about dating you as a bottom. So it was interesting that 2 people
Survived.
survived. Yeah, the
survived.
culling. Yeah. Body types. Most of them, so 44%, were average, and then we had 2 were slim.
Okay. The bottoms.
Yes. 1 was athletic, and then we had 2 which were gachimuchi as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Interestingly, though, the gachimuchi ones I didn't have sex with. Most of them just fizzled out, as they do. This happened even recently, like a month ago, that one day I was just like, I don't care. You know, I was just like, I'm not gonna message you today because I don't care. And then they didn't message me, and I was like, I don't care about that either. And then now a month and a half has gone on, we haven't talked to each other.
Yeah, I don't know if it's only Japan, but it's very heavy in Japan. If you stop communication from your end, how much communication actually still comes, the drop is significant.
Like I said, that attention span.
And then 1 ghosted me, and this person in particular seemed to be very interested and ghosted me twice.
You let them do that twice?
How you ghost somebody
Because
twice?
it came back kind of like, because I ran into him at a party.
Oh no.
And then then he came up to me and was like, oh, like, hey, how's it going? Like, he didn't ignore me like Eagle Blue guy. But then then I thought, okay, well, what was going on? I was like, oh no, blah, blah, blah. And he kind of like, it made me believe that he was still interested again. So then, and was like sending me dirty messages and stuff like that. So then I was like, okay, cool, like we're back on. And then ghosted again. So I don't know is there a word for that being doubly ghosted.
The word is blocked. Is what
Yeah. So age. Most of them were in their 20s.
Oh my god.
Which I didn't expect.
It's just us getting older.
Yeah. Fun fact. Some Japanese guys, if you keep messaging them, they will respond. But even if they have no interest. Right? And so like one guy I was like quite interested in for 6 months. It would be like we'd be talking a lot, this and that, and it would be like, oh, I can't meet because of A, B, C, D. I was like, cool, next week? Yeah, like let me know next week. I think next week can work. Next week will come around. The next month I'd be like, oh, what's Boop doing? You know what I mean? And I would message again and it would be like, oh hey, long time no see, how you doing? Yeah, I'd love to meet up, and just look very into it. And then after 6 months was way too long anyways.
Performance.
Very performative. One I think could have gone somewhere. That ironically was my fault.
Okay.
Getting back to me being like, oh, look at these bitches who think that they have intention and that they don't. I mean, that could be one for me. Had I wanted it to go farther, I could have, and I let it die. I stopped watering the plant.
Did you get scared or something?
I don't know if it was scared. I wasn't sure if it's what I wanted. What I'll say is I recognized that it was probably me. One, both of us were invited separately by this one guy. This one guy invited me and him separately to a threesome. And we met at the threesome and ended up liking each other better than the host. In the threesome, that it was kind of like...
Do you want me to keep this part?
We can think about it. So that was my lightning round. So if you guys have any questions.
I have the ghost. I want to really talk about what are you looking forward to this year?
Yes.
I want to meet people in the wild.
Oh, okay.
Like in the park?
No. A lot of people watching can probably relate. It's like 2 years, 3 years, only on apps. I've kind of forgot also kind of how to flirt. in person.
Yeah.
You know, I get tongue-tied a little bit. I don't think I need to find a boyfriend or do dating or whatever, but I want to start meeting people more out at bars and and see where that goes.
I mean, on a positive experience last week, I had a makeout session with a nice 40-year-old guy last week, and he was definitely, looks-wise, someone who I never thought would be interested, but I still persisted, and I couldn't tell if he wanted it from the front or behind, but I just do what I do, so I'm from behind, and he's like, I'm a top, and I was like, oh wait, turn around, hold it. By the way, I am setting up a podcast launch. It's basically going to be the queer perspective from long-term residents who are foreign in Japan, sharing our own experiences, our opinions, as well as gossip or actual Joho, oh my gosh, information. Joho, yo. Actual information that we know from people who are around us as well. We'll tackle abundance of topics. Check out the Tea with D and J coming spring, most likely April. We will see you on the podcast.
I am doing my D&D show, Brilliant Quest. Oh yes, starting in April, we have 2 shows.
Nice.
We have the 2nd season of Brilliant Quest, which is in all Japanese. This time it's not just comedians. We have a professional gamer, we have a musical actor, and then we have comedians. And then also, I started a separate show, Brilliant Quest Expat Edition, which is a cast of 9 just foreigners who live in Japan who love D&D. So it's an actual all English D&D actual play, so you can watch that if you don't speak Japanese. Both shows are on our YouTube Brilliant Quest, so please subscribe.
Like, subscribe, and share.
I'm waiting for Cody's story.